Happy Thursday, everyone. I'm Keisha, the co-founder of Dear Encourager, and today we are coming to you from a Burge at Bee Cave Memory Care, and they've been blessed to allow us to come here today. This is a community that supports residents with dementia and or Alzheimer's. So if you know anyone that's needing help with navigating through the journey, call Alice Guzman at a Burge Bee Cave Memory Care. So she was very nice to allow us to come in today and actually film here. So I'm just really grateful. And so today we are going to have Stephanie Williams, and she is one of our board members, but she also owns Abundance Home Care. And today we're going to be talking about why it is important for caregivers to seek help. And so I am so thankful that Stephanie was able to meet up with me today here at a Burge at Bee Cave and discuss this topic because it is very important, and she's going to come and talk to us about it. Stephanie, thank you for joining us.
Hi, Ms. Keisha. Thank you for having me.
And we may be dealing with a little, I don't know what the term is. We may be dealing with a little back sound stuff. Y'all know sometimes I don't deal with this tech stuff, but I'm doing the best I can. But what we're going to be talking about, of course, like I said, is why it's important for caregivers to seek help. And so, Stephanie, I'm going to let you take it away and let you tell us why it's important.
Okay, so we're going to talk about 5 reasons it is important to be seeking caregiver help. You know, when we were talking about it, we were talking about, do we say help or do we say seek? So thinking about that, I was like, we're going to say seek because there is a difference between the two. Seeking, we need to understand why we need to seek it and why the help is needed there as well. So the first thing is statistics have shown that the caregiver actually ends up passing away before the client because the caregiver is being depleted so much in so many different areas that go unnoticed. And the goal for that caregiver is to help the client and neglecting themselves. We tend to put ourselves on the back burner when the client is needing all the assistance, and we're not paying attention to ourselves. We're not paying attention to our health. We're not paying attention to the facts that we need to get out. We're spending a lot of time with our client, making sure that the needs are being done, and there we are on the back burner, not paying attention that we're making it to where we're actually becoming the client ourselves. So that would be one reason why. We can go into great detail on that, but there's other, things that we can talk about that require us to be seeking that help. There's mistakes that can happen. They can be small mistakes. They can be life-threatening mistakes. And when I say small mistakes, we're talking about maybe missing medication on time because we were running behind for breakfast, getting them dressed, making sure they had their shower, making sure their hygiene got done. Oh, let's not forget, she wants makeup. We're already running behind on time, but we're going to stop and we're going to put breakfast. We're going to put breakfast and all that other stuff to the side because we want to take care of our client or our loved one, however you want to phrase that, and get those things done. But at the same time, we're not paying attention that medication should have been given already with breakfast. Now we're having to push the medications back another hour, and all the other medications that need to be given out during the day are going to get pushed back as well. We have to remember those things, that those things can happen. Third reason, I know this is supposed to be a 30-minute conversation, so you bear with me, and we will come back around and I will ask Ms. Keisha if she has any questions as well as I'm going, so that way we can both put our thought into what we see on being a caregiver and also receiving the care. I've been on both sides of those tables. Both of them are very uncomfortable, not fun to deal with. Being on the caregiver side, knowing the expectations that we need to be delivering, difficult. But then when you're the patient, so to speak, and you have them trying to help you, you hold back. You don't want to ask for things. You feel like you're a burden. You feel like not only a burden and inconvenience to those individuals. You're taking up time. They have to go to work. They have to get dressed. Maybe they have to leave early because they have to go get gas. But I'm having a hard day. And I'm running behind so bad where my hair is a hot mess. I have one eyebrow done. The other one isn't done. My husband sees that I'm having a really hard time, so he stops what he's doing to come over to help me. That makes him my caregiver at that moment. So being on both sides of that table puts it at a perspective for us. And I feel like that's the biggest thing that we want. We're trying to make Dear Encourager be available to everyone so that they don't feel alone. And you know that we're out. We can mask it really well. If you look at me, you'd be like, she doesn't even know what I'm going through. She doesn't understand. How does she understand?
But you look good.
Thank you. I try.
I'm sorry, that is my trigger. But anyway, but you don't look like you've been through what you've been through.
But it is. It's hard. I mean, look, I have a handicap sign that I use. I don't use it all the time. If I'm having an amazing day, which I have an amazing day almost 99.9% of the time, I like to say that I'm fine and I don't use it. Now, if there are times that I do need it, you ought to see the faces I get for doing that. They don't know how I feel. They don't know that my legs are wobbly. They don't know that I've already forgotten like 10 things that I needed to get done between here and there. Barely making it, but they judge me by the way I look.
Now we're gonna have to go back and we going down that rabbit hole. Now we're supposed to be talking about why caregivers.
But that it does because
I know,
that's
but
going to be part of it. If you think about it, why? Why do we need to seek help?
well,
That has a lot to do with it.
yeah, but we're gonna have to come back and have a big conversation on why we, the chronic people with chronic illnesses, need to seek help. And but let's talk about when you're going out for your company, okay, and you're dealing with people who already are having problems receiving help, and you're there to give them their respite. And and then it's, you're trying to help their family member, loved one, friend, and it's time for you to, let's say, help them put on their clothes, give them a bath, or whatever the assignment is at that time. How hard is it sometimes for you to have that caregiver get out of the way and let you all do the job?
So that's the part where I was getting to.
Well, we were talking about being at the store.
Well, but at the same time, I'm having a hard time, and I have my loved one. He's frustrated. He needs to have somebody else, not him, do it. That's when we're going to
Oh, I
receive extra
apologize.
help.
Because I was about to go down the rabbit hole with the other stuff.
Oh, paying attention when you need it because I've already exhausted him. He's frustrated. That's one of the signs of you knowing that you need to go and have help. You need to ask and allow the people to come and help you. So that way, when you do have your significant person, loved one, whoever it is that's being the caregiver, can have that moment to go and breathe, do what they need to do, have a moment of time for themselves while they allow the caregiver to come in and help. Because that is going to be tremendous help. We fail to realize that it is needed, and it will allow you to just take a moment, take a breathe, get your thoughts together. You can focus better. You can actually react to that person that needs the care with more compassion, empathy, because you allowed the other person to take over and be the caregiver. And it's not your loved one having to do it. You have, it's very hard to let go. The caregiver is going to have a hard time letting go. Absolutely. They're going to look at it, well, you don't even know what she likes to drink. You don't know what it looks like when she's tired. You don't know what she's thinking about right then and there. You weren't with her to know that she needed to go to the restroom. Or maybe I'm not hungry. There's that too. Who wants to let anybody know that that's there? I mean, that's an independent thing that we tend to struggle with. I'm here to tell you that when that time comes, it's going to be very hard, especially to allow my husband to have to help if it's my husband. So you have to remember that too. Try to make sure that you have a balance there so that way you can keep the intimacy between your spouse and not have to have that look of, this is not what I thought I was going to have to be doing. Okay, it is. It's facts, but can we like prolong it so that it's not there already? So let's get a caregiver. So that way the caregiver is someone that's there. The caregiver will learn. It'll take a minute, and it gets frustrating, but that's the caregiver's job. They're trained. They know what they're doing. They know how to handle us. They know how to talk to us. They know how to teach us easier ways to get things done and be more patient. And you can truly tell that the caregivers care and they want to be there. And they're going to make sure that you're taken care of.
And when, I'm sorry, and when you said the caregivers teach you, I was just going to ask, do you all ask the caregivers to give you, little cheat sheets about the loved one, so you'll know different things that they like, they dislike, um, so you'll know how to care for them since you're coming in as strangers.
Yes, we do. We actually love to sit down with both. We love to sit down with the loved one and the client separately.
Okay.
At first, we do it together so that they can both kind of put in what they feel, how they see it, but then we like to sit with them separately and ask them questions so that we do know them and we can find out. Because my biggest thing to point out is, you know, sometimes you can have a stroke, you can have a heart attack, and you're blessed to be able to walk away and you don't know that you had it until you get to the doctor and the doctor tells you, and then you're just like astounded at, what? How? How did that happen? Well, some people aren't fortunate to have that situation and wake up nonverbal, non-mobile. I'm sorry, but I don't want to be dressed in a Barney outfit. And if we don't communicate those things ahead of time, how is anybody going to know? I was talking to a dear friend of mine today, and she was letting me know, there's a pamphlet out there that has significant questions that need to be asked, put in place. So in the event that something happens, you have someone that can help answer those questions. And you're not left sitting there trying to have that person, the caregiver, figure out on their own what needs to be done. However, we are trained, and our caregivers are trained tremendously to be able to figure those things out and ask. 2 different shirts, one red and a blue. Which one would you like to wear? Smile if you want the red. Frown if you want the blue. There's ways. And if they don't know how to do those, you can tell by face expressions. They're there. There's grimaces. There's hand motions. You can squeeze your hands. You can move your thumb. You can move your foot. There's more than one way of communicating to our clients so that we can find out what makes them happy, so that the family can see that we're not there just for revenue. We're not there just to sit. We're actually there to help. What we find too a lot of times for the caregivers, they tend to stay in the way. We love y'all.
But move.
But let us do our job. First of all, you're paying a significant amount of money
For us to help.
right, for us to be there, and then you're in the way. Go take a breather. Go take a ride through the park. Grab a book. Go sit outside. Do something.
It's called respite.
Yes.
And I just want to take a moment to say, for those of us who have, the chronic illnesses and require the caregiver, it's okay to tell them you need to go and get some time to yourself. Go to the gym. Go do something. I'm gonna be all right for this little bit of time that you're gonna be okay. Because sometimes, we've talked about it multiple times. The caregiver feels guilty about leaving you. And I'm here, I'm supposed to be here, I'm your spouse, I'm your whatever, loved one. I said I was going to help you. So you have to be the one to say sometimes, go. And you have to be the one to realize that you may be sick, but they still need some time to themselves. And you may be having bad days, and a few days ago, I had several bad days, but I had to realize that life still had to go on, even though I was sick. I had to gauge, are you going to die today, you think? No. Are you bleeding? No. Do you have access to food? Yes. Okay, let this man go to work. He doesn't need to sit here and just look at you breathing or sleeping, as what I was doing. So you have to also remember that life goes on. They have to go, and they have to go and take care of themselves too. Because as Stephanie said earlier, sometimes the caregiver will leave the earth before the person who's receiving the care, because they did not take care of themselves because they were so busy worrying about taking care of their loved one. So remember, when you're thinking about what's going on with you and, oh, I need to go to the doctor. When was the last time my spouse went to the doctor? Honey, when was the last time you went to the doctor? I had to have a conversation. You need to go do something with yourself. When the last time you did something you like? Do that. Do that if you care about your caregiver and if you want to see them live a long life. Well, as long as life has been given them to live I'm spiritual, in the book of life that was given to them. So, my next question that I have for you. I know for your company, it's really big on care, your clients being able to age at home and age in place. So, that went woo. Okay. Oh, tell me about what type of, there it is, it came back. What type of companies do you work with?
So we tend to, so we're non-medical, as is a lot of the non-home medical care services. So what that means is we're not supposed to do medications, we're not supposed to do anything that's going to be classified as medical. So what we do is we like to pair up with other companies. And when I say other companies, it's going to look like hospice or home health. Why? Hospice will help us with medications on delegating us, teaching us and showing us, taking the time to teach us each medication, the dosage, drawing up the medication for the morphine when it's time to be given. A nurse will come, she will show us, delegate us, and make sure we know what we're doing so that the family can rest and enjoy their family that is in the process of the journey of the end of life. So there are tons of hospice companies, just like there's a lot of us non-medical home companies, but we all tend to work together. I mean, I deal with like 5 or 6 of them, and out of the 5 or 6 of them, honestly, there's about 4 that I love to deal with because they are very empathetic and compassionate, not only for the client, but for us as the caregivers, making sure that we have what we need in place as well to be able to deliver the care that we need to deliver to our client and our family members, because the family has to be taken care of too. As we keep saying, have us come in, the whole purpose of us being there is so that you can enjoy your family at their last days. What does that look like? Well, some patients will have medications that are needed and be given every 2 hours, and then it starts to about every hour. And then sometimes it's like every 30 minutes. Instead of having the family members take care of that, we take care of that. We make sure that those things get done. Turning them, making sure that they're clean, making sure, that their mouth is clean, that their eyes are clean. They may be sweaty from the body transitioning. It's our job to make sure that those things look presentable to the family and keeps the client, our client's dignity in place. Because if we're being true to what we're saying, dignity is huge. I mean, it's something that we all do not want to let go.
Right.
It's independence and our dignity. Let's do our best to make sure we keep that in place. Home health. So what does that look like? Home health is more going to be for rehab and coming out of the hospital, basic care, making sure that they get up, they do their exercises, helping them do their exercises. You have occupational, you have physical, you even have swallowing. So again, home health comes in, they show us what needs to be done, how many times it needs to be done. Every client is different. Let's remember that. So what was good for one is most likely not going to be good for another. So let's pay attention, because the home health company has already been working with this client. It's our job to pay attention so that we can continue doing what they did, bring it over, take care of them at home, or even in rehab centers, or the skilled, or the assisted living, or the independent living, wherever the client's going to be. End of the day, our job is to make sure we're listening to the person that brings us on board and continue that, and make sure that we communicate with the home health company, let them know where they're at, if we see any things that are changing, because it is our job to pay attention as well. Just because we're non-medical does not give us excuses to not pay attention that they're having an off day. Why did they wake up confused? Why are they upset? Do they have a UTI? Let's ask. Let's let the home health people know. Even hospice, we can still tell them too. Just because it's their end of life, that doesn't mean that we don't report these things to them, because we are their eyes and ears. It is our job, and we do take pride in that, and making sure that we both work together like this, and let the family know that they have an amazing team taking care of their loved one, and they can go and rest and walk away and take a breather and use this properly, and also not get that caregiver burnout that everybody talks about, that we talk about, but actually the caregivers don't talk about it. They hide it, and then they're exhausted. And then all they want to do is hide, and they don't get the ability to grasp everything that happened because they were too busy taking care of their loved one. I mean, they should have been going through the motions with them, so that way they can start the process of healing and moving forward past the hardest part of their lives, because that is hard. It's very hard. They want to correct it.
I love that answer, and I love that you brought it back to the fact that the caregiver still will need help no matter what service their family member is on, because they can be on the most acute care service and they will still need help.
Yes, ma'am.
Because even if you have your family member in the hospital and they are getting round the clock care, that still puts a lot on the body.
Yes,
That
ma'am.
still puts a lot on the heart, the emotions, all in everything. So yeah, you still need to have some help.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's very depleting.
Sitting on and relying on the couch every day, watching your family member go through what they go through, that's hard.
Yes, ma'am, it is.
So now I'm done. I'm not ashamed to say. Now we're going to talk about Dear Encourager and how you could seek help through us. We created Dear Encourager for people who have chronic illnesses, So that means any kind of illness that you have. It could be one illness, it could be multiple illnesses. And we also created it for caregivers. Caregivers. And in my conversations with different people, I've had a lot of caregivers tell me, I don't need help, I'm good. I don't agree with that. I'm not going to argue with you about it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come and sprinkle a little water with the seed, and I'm going to walk away. But what I'm going to tell you is, and I've also had some people who have chronic illnesses and they feel that they don't need anything. But my issue is, if you are a person who I call and you don't answer the phone for 3 weeks and you're in isolation, you need help. You need community. If you are a person who are a caregiver and you are depressed, you need help. We are not professional counselors or anything like that, but we can be a listening ear. We're not listening ears just yet, but if you have something that you just want to say, let's say in our Facebook group, it is a group that is closed, so if you don't have, if you want to talk to somebody and say you had a bad day, I almost did that yesterday. I did, but I was afraid I was going to cuss, so I didn't. And we have people who pay to and donate, and I didn't want to offend anybody, but it was that kind of day. But we're looking to have safe spaces for people with chronic illnesses and those who are caregivers. We're working up to that, where you'll be able to talk to other people about what you're going through. If, let's say, you said something to somebody or your caregiver or anybody, and then, okay, I can be transparent. I said something happened to me, and I was told, maybe they got the wrong patient and gave you the wrong result. That gasted me, and I needed somebody in the community to talk to about that. Maybe you have incidents like that. Caregivers, I'm tired. I need to get away. I am sick of doing the same thing over and over again. I need some me time. I'm afraid to say I need some me time because I'm afraid I will be called selfish. Wouldn't you like to have a place where you could talk to other people who feel the exact same way? Maybe y'all can get in that space and have a retreat. Get together and say, we're going fishing. We going wherever. But to be able to be in a space where you can talk and not be judged. That's the whole purpose of Dear Encourager, is to not be judged, but be able to speak freely. So that's our goal. We need support. I ain't afraid to beg. I ain't afraid to beg. But anyway, we need your support. So if you see Dear Encourager as something that you would like to support, feel free to go to dearencourager.org. We also have a campaign, I think it's called Freely. Forgive me for not remembering. It's one of my problems, and I should have written it down. But go to our website, and you can also go to PayPal. We have a PayPal on the Dear Encourager if you want to donate via PayPal. The old school mail, we'll take that to Dear Encourager 513 Hickory, Hickory, Run, RUN, Drive, DRIVE, Cedar Park, CEDAR, PARK, 2 words, Texas, TEXAS, 78613. And we will gladly take your donations via check. We take it any way you want to give it to us. and we will be glad that you're willing to help us. If you are a grant writer and you want to help us find grants, we thank you for that. We would appreciate your volunteerism, because we're broke, but we're going to be blessed in the future. Okay, so I thank you so much for watching us today. I again want to thank the Arborage at BK for allowing us to record here. And again, if you have any memory care needs, please look out for Alice Guzman. Please call her and she'll be happy to help you and answer any of your questions. And I want to thank Stephanie Williams today for being with us, and she is one of our board members, and she's the owner of Abundance Home Care. And I am so glad that we made through this with one take. And if you know the challenges that I have, this is a blessing, and I'm just thankful. So thank you so much. Shout out to Vanessa. We love you. We miss you. And I hope you all have a great day. Good night. Goodbye.